The great thing about the third shape is it's probably looks a lot more difficult when you look at the final result than it actually is to accomplish. So let me make sure, let's start out first by saving. Control S, just make sure you're saving. And also, if you have any other programs open right now that you really don't need, I would go ahead and close those. And the reason is that we're going to run a 3D effect on this, and our computers are just old enough that they don't need any extra work to do when they're trying to render a 3D effect. So if there's anything you have open that you don't need to have open, like streaming music or something, go ahead and close that down. Let's get the pen tool out and let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start drawing this path right at this point right here. I'm going to leave this first little point just sitting up. Actually, I'm going to go back to the beginning here. Let me start again. I'm going to hold Alt right when I come up because I really only need this second directional point. So I'm going to hold Alt to leave this one up just a little bit because I need to get this nice little curve here. So I'm clicking and I'm holding down on the mouse until I get that point set. Okay, still holding down the mouse. Now I'm holding down Alt to set the second point. Okay, I'm going to click. I'm going to hold down and get that point set. I'm going to hold down Alt to move this second point up. Now one thing that I have happening here that's a little bit annoying is I accidentally left my fill on when I needed to just have the stroke. So I'm going to go down here, I'm going to swap out the fill and stroke, and then we can keep going. Okay, perfect. Alright, I have that point set now. I'm still holding down the mouse. I'm going to hold down Alt to swing this point back up. Okay, now let go of the mouse. I click again. I set this point. I'm going to hold down Alt now to swing this one up so it's ready for the next line. Let go of the mouse, come down here, get this point set, hold down Alt, get this line directly in line. I'm not going to pull it all the way down here. I just need it kind of straight on this line. I'm going to let go of the mouse now. I'm going to do this point, hold down Alt, just to immediately set this new little point for the curve. Okay, I'll let go of my mouse now. Hold down Alt, click on the mouse, get that point set. And actually, I'm gonna hold down Alt to set this just a little differently, but it's not much of a little change there. So I'm gonna click again. Hold down Alt to set this point much lower because I've got to get this nice little loop at the bottom. Okay, I'll let go. I'm going to click, get that bottom point set. I'm going to hold down Alt to pull this over. Okay, I'm going to click, get that point set, hold down Alt to set this point. Okay, let go of the mouse, click, get that point set, hold down Alt to swing this point over for the straight line, let go of the mouse, and then click. And it's important, just like with the last one, that you close off that shape. Alright, all done. If for some reason you come in and when you start drawing the line, it's picking up some of the effects from the last line you drew, you can always come back over the appearance panel and trash what other effects it's pulling in. But this worked just fine for me. Alright, now that I have this drawn, I'm going to go back and I'm going to switch that fill and that stroke. And I don't want to have a stroke and a fill. I really just want to have the fill. So if that's not the case, you can go up here, you can take your fill off. But so I have, my goal in the end is to have a fill and a stroke. And you can do whatever color you want. Maybe I'll do a purple. But we have this ready, and now we're ready to do the 3D effect. Before I do this, because like I said, those 3D effects have a chance of crashing our computers, I'm going to save. So you can go up to File, Save, or Control S, but save that. All right, and when it's done saving, now we're ready to do the 3D effect. So we're going to go up to the Effect menu, 3D. Extrude and bevel. Now I'm looking at page 12 of our instructions, and it walks us through exactly what we need to, the settings we need to put in to Illustrator. I'm actually going to affect how this turns. You can kind of see it's showing me a preview of exactly how my shape is going to turn, which is a pretty cool thing. And you know, you can even play with it and manually move it if you want, but I'm going to go with I'm going to go back and go with the settings that they gave us. So 36, 16, and -28. Okay. And down here, the extrude depth, we're going to set that at 25. Complex 3. The height, I'm going to set at 1.25. And I always think on these things, it's a good idea to preview what you have happening. That looks perfect. Looks just like what we're supposed to be doing. You can hit OK. And I'll click off of that. Now you'll see our stroke is still on there, so we can see how it was drawn. But once it adds that 3D effect to it, it's turned it because we gave it that angle to turn it to, and it's added this extra effect to it. If your shape looks kind of funny when you're done with it, probably one of two things have happened. One is that sometimes people have a fill on it, and that can do weird things to the look. The other thing that happens is that sometimes people will have a the shape will be complete, and that will do weird things to the look. The other thing that happens is sometimes people will try to do a revolve effect on something with a gradient or with like a pattern, and don't do that. You need to just have it be a solid color. If you try to revolve something with a gradient or with a pattern, it takes so much more processing power, so much more. It just makes Illustrator, especially on our computers, it really can't handle it. So when you're doing this particular effect, do it with just a solid color, and it should work just fine for you. Well, that wraps up number 3. You've got your first look at 3D work, and we're ready to move on.